Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is High Pride, and today is the first video that I have on the new champion expansion for Aphelios. So, they recently came out with this champion expansion, which came out with a decent amount of cards as well as a new champion. It's a very small expansion, but it's cool that they're doing these little kind of champion expansions to kind of add more flavor to the game, right? To add a little bit more in between the releases, we can have these little injects of new cards and therefore new strategies to implement into the games, which is really cool. So with that being said, with this new champion expansion, we've gotten Aphelios, which is the first card that I'm going to go over because this is the first of two new cards in this deck that I'm trying out. And this is one of the better ways, I think, to play him. I've seen some other things of like Aphelios Heimerdinger and stuff like that, Aphelios Victor. I think this is one of the better and probably most competitive ways to play him. I think Aphelios Heimer is also pretty good, but I think this Aphelios Zoe deck, which used to be Aphelios Diana, but I didn't really like Diana in that deck. A lot of people were playing this new Aphelios, this Zoe Diana deck, which is based on Invokes. And I always felt like Diana was kind of out of place, and she kind of just felt like a filler card. And I think Aphelios was that card that she was filling. I think Aphelios is really good in this deck, and he adds a lot of kind of planning that you need to have because of how he works. So let's go over his abilities, and let's quickly go over like what makes him kind of hard to play. So Aphelios is a 3-mana 3/3, Nightfall, pick a moon weapon in hand, and each round, the first time you play two other cards, create the phased moon weapon in hand if you don't have one already. And then his level up is for cast 4 moon weapons, and then when he levels up, he becomes a quick attack 4/4 that has the same thing as his pre-level up version, just your moon weapons cost 1 less. So leveling him up isn't like the best, like it's not necessary. You just gain quick attack, he becomes a 4/4 instead of a 3/3, and your moon weapons cost 1 less to cast, which I mean they're already not that expensive. They're 2 mana, so it's not the greatest, but if you can level them up, why not? Quick attack is pretty powerful. So going into his champ spell, also I think a really good card, which is Aphelios' Gift from Beyond, and it's a burst speed, 2 mana burst, pick a moon weapon to create in hand. Basically it's just his Nightfall effect on a 2 mana burst speed spell, which I think is actually kind of insane. No, this is where it gets fun. The moon weapons. So just like his champion in League of Legends, he has 5 moon weapons to pick from, and they all have different effects. So you got deal 3 to a follower from Calibrum. You got the Severum, give an ally +1/+2 in lifesteal. Gravitum, stun an enemy if it's a follower, stun it again in the next round start. And Infernum, give an ally +2 and +1 in overwhelm. And Crescendum, summon a 2-cost follower from your deck. If it has Nightfall, activate it. So overall, these are pretty flexible. The only downside is that they're 2 mana slow speed spells, but I guess that's kind of to balance it out, because if some of these were a little bit faster, they would kind of be busted. But overall, they're pretty flexible, but the complexity comes in with the phase mechanic. So again, the phase mechanic is if you play for the first time every round, if you when you play 2 other cards, you phase a weapon. And that's where this comes in, right? So immediately when you play him Nightfall, you pick let's say I pick Calibrum, and I deal 3 to a follower. It will let me choose either Severum or Gravitum. And then from there, I have to play 2 more cards, or 2 cards in a round the first time, and then it'll phase that weapon in for me. And that's where the kind of the complexity comes from, is not just picking what's best for this round, but what will help you in the coming rounds because of the phase mechanic, right? So I do think that's pretty interesting. And it adds a little bit of complexity, but also a little bit of fun to the game. Overall, these are okay. None of these are like super insane. I think Gravitum is actually really, really good though. If you're able to use it on like a Cytheria or a Genevieve or whatever, you know, some really powerful followers, this one can be extremely powerful. This one can also be really powerful if you're playing with Nightfall. If you're not playing with Nightfall, this one becomes kind of useless. And in this deck, it's not the best, so you never see me pick it because it's kind of useless. And then all the other ones are kind of just like situational, right? If I want Overwhelm, I can get Infernum. If I need Lifesteal, I can get Severum. And then if I need to kill a follower, I can pick Calibrum. So overall, he's a really flexible champion, and I think will add a lot of complexity to the game. So I think I'm super excited for that. Now overall, again, this is a Targon Invoke deck. It's nothing crazy. But the only card that I've really added to this deck from a previous version that I was playing was the Fangs as well. This card is a 4 mana 3/2 lifesteal, so not the best stats. Lifesteal is also super situational. If you're playing against a control deck, this card is basically useless. You only really play it for the Invoke. But I do like the Invoke a Celestial card that costs 3 or less. Now, being 4 mana, I'd prefer it to be the 4 to 6 range to be able to pick something that I can play on the next turn. But the 3 or less Invoke is also not too bad. There are some good options, and this will be a card where you will play in specific scenarios where you're looking for a specific card. So if you're looking for a 3 cost or less, you'll play this. But also it's good against aggro with the lifesteal and whatnot. So it's not a bad card. I do like it in this deck, and just getting more Celestials, more Invokes to buff up our later ones when we get from Mountain Scryer or Star Shaping can be really good. Overall, I went 9-3 with this deck, I think, or maybe like 7-3 or something. I don't know. I went. I had a pretty decent win rate with this deck. It does really well into Anivia, as some of the games will show. But overall, I think this deck is pretty good. I don't know how good yet. I don't know if this is also an optimized version, but when I am able to get an optimized version, I'll definitely probably post another video on it. But yeah, anyways, the games that you've watched are pre-recorded, so I was streaming on the day of release. So hopefully you guys enjoy the games, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I don't know. This matchup might be bad for me. This matchup might be bad for me. It might be good to keep Hush. I don't know. This is a pretty decent combo. This deck's gonna have a ton of clear. I play Zoe every time, right? Sure. There's not gonna be a lot of times where Zoe lives, I don't think. Yeah, here it comes. Vile Feast, yep. Cool. If that's the case, I probably shouldn't have attacked then. Whatever. It's fine. I'm just gonna do this now. Is there anything I need to silence in that deck that's not Anivia? I don't think so. Crescent might be my best pick here.
One star's whimsy is another spark.
I'm not too sure. Place a Large Priestess here. This is kind of going to be a useless card in this matchup. Obliterate is pretty good. Obliterate is pretty good. So he has Anivia. I have Obliterate, which is great. do this. Doesn't do a ton for me, but I'll attack here. So this deck usually runs, yeah, Tavern Keepers, Withering Whales, Vengeances, Urinations, Harrowing, so things I need to keep in mind. Take that pass. I will take that pass. Playing this allows me to be able to play this and play Comet. The only downfall would be if he were to play something other than Anivia, this sucks. Because he could kill it, but then that means anything that he can use to kill this will put him out of range of playing Anivia this turn, so I think this is fine. I should only have, yeah, 2 atrocities in my deck. Let's stop this. Falling Comet might just be too good in this matchup, honestly. I might need a ton of these. Now, if he has Glimpse, he can kind of cancel out the Obliterate, but I kind of just have to be okay with that. Could also Gluttony it, which would be really bad for me. But he's not going to do that. Okay. That's fine. Can I just attack here? Is there a reason to attack here? I don't think there's a reason not to. This is fine.
Let's talk about your attack.
Okay. 4 mana, keep your 4 mana up, keeps max spell mana, which puts him into Ruination range. So, if I play this, he probably instantly plays Ruination, right? Which is something I need to keep in mind. If I play this, does he play Ruination? Maybe? If I play this, though, he plays Anivia, which is not good for me. So... just pass that. I mean, he's not really doing anything. Neither am I. So, I think I'm okay with that. We'll start off with Scryer. See what happens, see what we get. Mortify is pretty good. I think that's the pick. Okay. Just attack here.
Look out for reavers.
No draw for you. Now he can kill this, which is kind of sad, but I don't mind that too, to be honest. Good for the raid. Comet is so good in this matchup. Okay, the second one, which is bad. Which is bad. So I guess Gluttony, right? Yep. get obliterated again. So that's 2 Anivias down already. So I'm actually in a really good spot right now. I'm actually kind of in an insane spot. I'm gonna play the Immortal Fire here. I don't know if I win this still though, because of the fact that he has so many different ways to just like clear the board. It's so insane. Luckily, my Immortal Fire is still up, so getting as much damage as I can right now. Right, 1 Ruination down. His Harrow Ring's not going to have too much in it because of the fact that I killed off 2 of his Anivias. Via Comet.
Clad in shining sunlight.
So, could have 2nd Ruination. That's totally possible. The thing is he probably has Vengeance in his hand, so passing into an open attack doesn't really do much if I don't add more to the board. So I need to add enough to the board while not playing into 2nd Ruination. I don't know if this deck runs 2 or 3. I think it runs only 2. Should only run 2. Not too sure. I don't want to play this until he plays more mana, because if I could play this on an empty board and open attack with it, it's pretty good. But playing it this turn into Ruination mana can be bad. I think I have to though. I don't think there's a way around it. Yeah, here comes 2nd Ruination, right? I got Mind Splitter though, which is pretty good. If he's ever able to get up Anivias, I just play this and hopefully he doesn't have a way to deal with it. I can't really do anything about that, unfortunately. If I had mana for Withering, that would have been good, but unfortunate. So Tavern Keeper, it's cool. Alright, so you can block here, Vengeance this.
Bigger than you.
Yeah, Vengeance has to be coming, right? Ooh, Withering. Lives with 1 HP. Okay. Did not expect that. Okay. Think there's any reason for me to rush this. I would just be kind of playing into his cards, so Nivea. I think this is fine. Gluttonies. I can just hush that, right? Hush, it kills it, and you can't do anything. Sorry, GG's. He can glimpse it still. It kills it, but it doesn't leave the last breath, which is really good for me. This won't spawn the Rekindler, which is also good for me. Yep. Now he has a 3/5 on the board. That's going to get stunned next turn. And we open attack to play around Ruination. A lot of Anivia decks now. And this is a pretty good start, right? Do I even need Aphelios? I'll keep it just in case, but I want this for Comet.
Nothing escapes my watch. In Avarosa's name.
Taking a little bit of damage here. Not too bad.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Probably actually could have stalled that a little bit, that pick a little bit, to make it seem like maybe I didn't get Comet.
Back, heretic.
I think this is fine.
You chart our path.
Modifier is really good.
Can see the Demastian border from here.
Okay, there's Anivia.
Know your path to the mountain changes.
Here in your time of need.
In Avarosa's name.
Believe or burn.
Light
And
the
that is
signal
why you
fire.
pick Comet every time. Now I'll play Aphelios. Oh, this might be
The
something
brighter my
useful.
light, the stronger your shadow.
Okay, so I can play Immortal Fire here. Problem with that is Ruination is a thing. But if you Ruinate, that's all you can do, and Immortal Fire will go in for 7. Too early to play Immortal Fire? Maybe. start with this, I think.
Graviton.
Gonna see what he does. If he goes under Ruination and Vengeance mana. I'm gonna lose both of my Mountain Scryers though, which kinda sucks.
Forever watch.
There is hope.
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the roses!
Leave your bags in the door.
It ends in silence.
This is the wrong path.
I can block here.
Reach out, Aphelios.
I'm gonna open attack here. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I can even replay Aphelios here if I wanted to. I'll keep my options open though, I think. I'm gonna open attack here. Okay, more
Brace
twins.
yourselves.
Let's go.
That was super fun, and I gotta say,
Elise, Shadow Isles, Noxus. Should be a pretty good opening hand. Might get rid of Eclipse Dragon with Spacey. No, never mind. I'm just gonna play this instead.
Night flowers upon my blade.
Play Sketcher here. Serpent's pretty good. Serpent can challenge that and just outright kill it, which is great. I think I will do that. I've seen this deck a couple of times. I don't know how I feel about it. It seems like it's like a just like a spider's deck, which is really weird.
My faith protects me.
for 1, so this is perfectly fine for me. Alright, here's to hoping I don't hit one of the 3 cards in my deck. I didn't, which is great. The warrior is just really good.
Each stone and star.
Stalking shadows is fine. So he has a second skitter,
For the
which is
Empire.
fine.
The few for the many. Clear it out!
Die for me.
You cannot sway me.
Actually,
Exercise
block like this.
caution.
You need to try to keep as much health as possible, I think. Is this attack even good? I don't know.
There's nothing to fear.
I'm just gonna play this out. And then he's gonna do the little skitter thing. He's not gonna do skitter, he's gonna do Doom Beast instead. Okay.
You won't suffer long.
Block. Block.
Heretic!
Block.
Stray.
Block. And I can just block here. Sure. Okay.
So young.
Oh, this is pretty good for me.
War Mason, reporting for duty. For the glory of Noxus.
Last card in his hand is Skitter.
Death doesn't scare me.
I'm just gonna take the heal now.
Noxus lives on.
Play this after I play Star Shaping to get the Get the Nightfall. Let's go, man.